Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wake the hell up, turn the volume way up, because we've got today's episode of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cobold, joined by my guy, Max Faulkner. Maxie, how you doing on this Thursday, man?
Cobrizi, I'm feeling a little bit better from our Tuesday pod when I was, I was sick, man. I was sick as a dog. Oh, man. Right after our pod, I passed the hell out. Wednesday, really? Yesterday, I still wasn't feeling that great. Today, I feel a lot better. I'm not 100, still all right here. Okay, so
I feel it.
If I sound like I'm clogging my nose like a freaking
goon,
yeah. Then excuse me, everybody, but feeling better, Cobrizi, and I'm excited about this afternoon pod. What's going on with you, man?
Glad to hear you're feeling better, sounding better. Is that a new boiler shirt there? Got a new one?
I've had it. Thanks for noticing, though.
Yeah,
thanks for noticing. 3-0, baby. 3-0.
Double boilered up on me today. We're definitely going to be talking about Purdue a little bit later, but I'm hanging out, man, and looking forward to that Thursday night game tonight. I don't know if you saw that, but we got the Washington football queefs and the Eagles, and they're not really the football queefs anymore. You might be able to call them the Commanders, but I'm excited for that one.
Me too, Cobrizi. That should be on everyone's big dog tonight. You know, I was looking at other games, college games. I don't like the NBA, everybody, so I don't really watch them anyway. So I didn't even look at that. But if there's a game that needs to be on your screen, it's this divisional matchup between the Eagles and the Commanders. Oh my goodness!
I've got Jaden Daniels in my lineup. I got Scary Terry McLaurin in my lineup, so you know I'm going to be watching that one. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, you got two tonight. You got two. I got two tonight too, Cobrizi. I got Jalen Hurts and Brian Robinson Jr. Baby.
Oh, he's back.
Let's go. He's back.
How many games did Brian Robinson miss?
3. 2?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, 2 in a row, but he missed 3 this season.
Okay.
So,
Good to have him back. We got Eckler having 2 rushing touchdowns last week. McNichols found the end zone, so I wasn't very happy because Jaden Daniels, I want him to rush a couple, and I want him to throw to Scary Terry. So seeing Eckler get 2 and McNichols get 1, I wasn't very happy with that last week.
Understandably.
But today, on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, we're really mixing college basketball and the NFL right now. We're really hitting both sports, every podcast really right now. At the end, we're going to have our Week 11 Extra Juicy Dawgs. Some people, they come out just for that segment. They love the Extra Juicy Dawgs because they're juicy, baby. We're going to have them in the conclusion. We got some college basketball to talk about. Max, we're going to make a big game pick on your Boilers tomorrow night. Oh my goodness, I want to watch that one. But let's start with the Auburn men's basketball team. Wait till you hear this one, Max.
Oh, my goodness.
On Auburn's flight to Houston this past weekend to play the Cougars, the private flight that the Auburn men's basketball team was taken to Houston had to be diverted due to what the pilot called as horseplay on the plane. Reportedly, a physical altercation broke out between freshman Ja'Kai Howard and senior Jaheim Hudson that was serious enough to lead the pilot to abandon the flight plan and request an emergency landing. Auburn ended up taking another flight late that night out of Alabama without Howard and Hudson. Max, what do you think about a little bit of horseplay that deemed the pilot to call for an emergency landing?
Idiots. How stupid can you be in a situation where you can cause deaths? You're jeopardizing lives. What a bunch of idiots. The egos, again, Cobrizi, when it comes to these, apparently now college, okay? Another reason why I love college sports is because the coaches actually coach the athletes and basically teach them how to become men, okay? Especially you see those 4th, 5th year seniors. They're men, all right? They're men, and you can just see they're developed. They make smart decisions, not only on the court, but off. Yeah. If Bruce Pearl doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would, he definitely will give you a talking or two. He'll smack you across the face. I feel like he'll give you a nice little bitch slap.
Yeah, take his belt off. Huh?
Oh my, there it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Both of these guys are transfers. So it's not like they've been in the program. So yeah, Bruce Pearl leaving them back at home. That's pretty funny. They didn't get to travel with the team. Anything else before we talk about the game?
Real quick. Were these guys starters? Did they play a lot of minutes?
Okay. Off the bench. Guys off the bench.
Got a couple
in the rotation.
Okay. All right.
But part of the pieces that make up the team, but not the main guys as of right now.
Okay.
But let's talk about the game real quick because it was a barn burner, Max. Auburn won this game against Houston, 74-69 in Houston.
Nice.
They played at the Rockets Arena. It wasn't on campus. Played at the Rockets Arena. But this was Auburn's first win over Houston since 1962. Now
Wow.
I realize these teams don't play every year, but 1962, that's a long time.
Long time.
Last year, Houston became the first team in 40 years to lead the nation in both scoring defense and field goal percentage defense. They led the nation in both, first time in nearly 40 years. In this game against Auburn, the Tigers dropped 46 points in the second half. Max, there's going to be teams this year that don't score 46 points in the whole game against Houston.
Yep.
Reference the first game of the year against Jackson State, only scored 40. This year, only scored 40 points Jackson State against Houston in the whole game. Auburn shot 52.9% from the floor in this game.
Wow, Auburn. Finally they're getting an offense that's waking up a little bit.
Against this defense,
That's good.
a team has only shot that high against Houston 4 times in the last 7 seasons combined. 4 times that field goal percentage in the last 7 seasons combined. Lastly, this is Auburn's highest ranked regular season win over a non-conference opponent in school history. Houston was number 4. Auburn had never beaten a non-conference opponent in the regular season who ranked higher than number 13. So huge win for Auburn. Are we sleeping on these Tigers and Bruce Pearl?
I love Auburn. I love the Tigers. They're in the dance every year, and I'm not sleeping on them, Breezy. I want to see what they can do, especially with Broom, with Johnny Broom, man. He's the big dog on the team. He's going to be going up for a Wooden Watch Award. He's definitely going to be nominated. He's got to be. He's got to be. Yeah. So we'll be looking if he's a top 5 player in the league. I can't wait to see them on TV because I haven't been able to watch him yet.
Yeah, definitely.
This time I missed it.
Second team All-American, Janai Broom for both of us, already averaging almost 17 points over 9 boards a game. So we know about the energy, we know about the intensity of Auburn, the defensive pressure. So hopefully they got some scorers this year to help out Broom. I'm excited to see Auburn in the SEC, Max.
Heck yeah, man. Go Auburn.
Staying in the SEC in college basketball, we got to talk about a situation coming out of Gainesville, Florida.
Oh.
Florida men's basketball coach Todd Golden is the subject of a Title IX investigation following allegations from multiple women of sexual harassment, stalking, and cyber stalking. Sit back and put your seatbelt on here. According to the complaint, Golden allegedly made multiple unwanted sexual advances to both Florida students and former students. Allegedly, Golden asked for sexual favors. He sent photos and videos of his genitalia to these women.
Oh, gosh.
He took photos of these women and then sent the photos to them. He also started showing up at particular places that he knew these women would be. Florida has come out and said that Golden's employment status has remained unchanged as the investigation is ongoing. He is expected to coach Florida in their next game. Golden made a statement that didn't include any denial of the allegations.
Oh, my gosh.
If you're wondering, Max, Todd Golden, he's a married father of 2. What do you think about this situation? What does Florida need to do here?
Disgusting. If this is, it sounds like they have the evidence, okay, because of pictures, and videos. Pretty gross stuff. Fire him immediately. Okay, you don't need this. This is not when you want a head like I just brought up. As far as a head coach goes in college basketball, you want a role model that can lead boys to become men. This coach, this guy's a boy. He's a boy teaching boys. All right,
going after students.
Going after students. You freaking kidding me?
Half your age.
Disgusting. He's worse than a boy. He's a scumbag. And the fact that he's married and has 2 kids, it's just gross. It's just gross. Get rid of him. If once again, I don't want to jump out of my seat. Maybe it is fake. I don't know. Right? It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like it's heading in that other direction. So if the investigation goes through where, he's guilty, fire him immediately. Gone.
Very creepy. Very creepy. Showing up to places where these women are going to be, taking pictures of these women and then sending the pictures to them. Like, that's just so creepy. Stalking. So creepy. I'm with you, Max. Get Todd Golden out of here. I thought he was a good basketball coach. Yeah. I thought he was good. I liked the Gators last year. But no, you can't have this. You can't have this. Todd Golden, get out of here, man. See ya.
Dude, he's going to have sexual predator on his name for the rest of his life. If this goes through. Disgusting. Just disgusting.
Let's talk one more college basketball topic today. We got a big game tomorrow, Max. A huge game in West Lafayette, Indiana. Your Purdue Boilermakers are taking on the Alabama Crimson Tide. And I love that this baby's in West Lafayette. We're not going to Indianapolis. We're not going to Chicago. We're playing this one on campus. I love it. Let's look at Alabama first here, Max. The Crimson Tide, they played 3 games, 3-0, obviously. Opened up with UNC Asheville. Smacked them 110-54. They whipped closer game against Arkansas State 88-79, and a solid game against McNeese 72-64. Alabama has 5 guys averaging double figures, led by Mark Sears, on a first-team All-American for both of us. Currently averaging 18 points, 3.5 boards, 2.5 assists. I expect those numbers to go up. Alabama has the 7th ranked transfer class, according to 247sports.com. Cliff Amori, already getting it done from Rutgers, 10.5 points, 8 boards, and 2 blocks through these 3 games. And Alabama also has the 2nd ranked recruiting class, according to 247sports.com. We both like Alabama, Max. We both have them in our Final Four. Give me your thoughts on Alabama's 3-0 start.
Alabama looks really, really good. On paper, you like we said, they're cupcake games. So the big thing that we got to bring up is the rebounds. Okay, they're averaging 47 rebounds now.
Whoa.
47. That's crazy. I expect that to start going down once we get into SEC play and they start banging with the bigs down low with Jedi Broom once again, bringing him up again. But so far, so good, obviously, for Alabama. Now, this game against Purdue is going to be it's going to be so exciting, Cole Breezy. Biggest thing, you already brought up Mark Sears. We're talking about 2 of the best point guards in college basketball going up against each other. We could say arguably the best scoring guard in Mark Sears. He's a pure scorer. He's a great scoring point guard. And then the best passing guard in the game, Braden Smith. Name a guard who's a better passer than Braden Smith. He has eyes on the back of his head, man. It's ridiculous, some of these passes that I see him doing. You know I'm watching every game, Cole Breezy, so I know I see a lot of highlights. It's nuts. I haven't seen Purdue have a guard like this in my lifetime. I haven't.
That's a good point there. Yeah, Braden Smith. We might have to make a list of Purdue point guards from the past couple decades, and Braden Smith has to be up there.
Yeah.
Let's look at the Boilers. 3-0 start here. Started off with Texas A&M Corpus Christi, also known as Corpus Crispy from back in the day, a couple March Madnesses ago. Beat them 90-73. Then they beat Northern Kentucky 72-50. Good smacking there. And then a solid game against Yale, 92-84. The Boilers have 3 guys averaging over 15 a game. Fletcher Lawyer leading the squad, 17 points and 3 assists a game. Trey Kaufman-Renn impressing me, 15.5 points, 5.5 boards.
He got big, Cole Breezy. He got big. You see how he bulked up over the summer? My gosh.
Damn.
Good.
And then, of course, your guy, Braden Smith, 15 points, leads the team with 6.5 rebounds, and, of course, 9.5 assists. My goodness.
Come on.
Goodness. 19th ranked recruiting class, according to 247sports.com. I see Jakari Harris has been starting. And then Daniel Jacobson, the big man in the middle. Tell me about what happened to him and give me the rest of your thoughts on your Boilers.
Yeah, really disappointing because Daniel Jacobson, 7'4", big man. We thought that he would fill into Zach Edey's role. Now, as a freshman anyway, like as we're going to start developing him, maybe once he gets to that senior season, maybe he does end up being someone like Zach Edey because not only can he get rebounds and dunk the ball like Zach Edey, but he could shoot it. He could actually shoot the ball. So that's the difference. He'll be knocking down 3-pointers. He fractured his tibia, Cole Breezy. Fractured his tibia in that second game against Northern Kentucky within the first 30 seconds of the game. He went down, and, dude, he barely got tapped. And he hit the floor. And I brought this up in Boiler Up, baby. Check out our new segment, everybody, on the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast, going over every Purdue game this season. I'll be on top of that. But it just goes to show you, Cole Breezy, that when you get to college sports, dude, you got to beef up. You got to hit the weight room, man. You got to hit the weight room. You got to get big because when you start playing against juniors, seniors, fifth-year seniors, the guys that have been there, they're banging down low, man. They're banging. He literally just gave a little bump, and that guy's tibia fractured. Crazy.
7'4", 230, Daniel Jacobson. Yeah, needs a lot more beef. I know you got another 7-footer coming in here, Will Berg, 7'2" sophomore. I know he's going to fill the role. But Max, if we can make our game picks now, I am going to go Alabama. I am going to go with them on the road. I have them in my Final Four. I love the depth. I love the depth of the Crimson Tide. They go deep and they're big. They're big.
Yeah.
I know Purdue's always big too, but I like how big Alabama is, starting Grant Nelson and Cliff Amore up front, along with Jaron Stevenson. Those guys are all 6'9", 6'10". That all three of those guys are starting right now. That's a lot of length. That's a lot of defensive pressure. The gaps are going to be tighter for Braden Smith to find those outlets. I'm going Alabama in West Lafayette tomorrow night. It's going to be a great game.
I like the pick, Cole Breezy, but I got to go the opposite way. You know I do. Because first thing, it's Purdue. Come on, I'm not going to pick their first loss of the season. I would rather see them have that first loss of the season rather than me pick it. And also, hey, Mackey Arena, it's very, very hard to win in Mackey. Okay, a lot of coaches, a lot of players, they have said some of the hardest courts to play on. Mackey is up there. It gets really loud. The fan base at Purdue is unreal. Everyone goes nuts. And Here's the big thing, I think, for the Boilers, okay? We already brought up how Alabama is averaging 47 rebounds per game. That's big. That's 13 more rebounds than Purdue this year. Big reason is because Daniel Jacobson went out, right? So now they got to figure out how to get rebounds. Alabama is only shooting about 30% from beyond the arc, okay? If we can get Alabama to cough up some threes and we just focus on boxing out, literally fundamentals, Berg, freaking First, Troy Kaufman, Wren, who's the
First
other guy?
Going to get some minutes?
Burgess.
First going to get some minutes.
He's been playing. He's been playing.
Get him in there.
Box out. Use your asses. Drive them out of the lane. Make them shoot threes. If we make them shoot threes, they start missing. We're going to start getting some more possessions. So that's my one take I have so far here, and I think Purdue can pull it out. It's going to be a tight game, Cole Breezy. No doubt about it. I think it's going to be more of a slow. I don't think it's going to be a slow game. I think it's going to be up and down the court the entire game. Yeah. Purdue likes to play that way now, and Alabama loves it up and down the court.
Let's finish today's episode with our only fantasy football topic today, the Week 11 Extra Juicy Dawgs. I'm looking forward to hearing who you have, Max. Why don't you start us off with your extra juicy quarterback for Week 11?
I gave a little howl and Luna's right here. She's sitting in her bed and her ears perked up. She said, "What's going on? What's going on?"
Got her all worked up.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Ted, for this weekend, Cole Breezy, quarterback. We are sleeping on this guy because he has woken up on a team that has also woken up. I'm going Justin Herbert taking on Cincinnati. Cincinnati is ranked 28th against the quarterback. Go Breezy, check out these last three games that Justin Herbert has had. 3 games ago, 279 yards, 2 tutties, 49 rushing yards. That's 26.9 fantasy points in our league.
Hello.
Next game, 282 yards, 2 tutties, 22.2 fantasy points. Last week, only 164 yards, a tutty, but 32 rushing yards and an additional tutty. 19.2 fantasy points. He's red hot. Get this, Cole Breezy. I know you're probably not expecting this. 0 turnovers for Justin Herbert in 8 of the 9 games this season. He only has 1 interception and 1 fumble, and they were both in that one game. Okay, in that one game. Unreal. They control the ball. Jim Harbaugh doing a great job. A great job over there. And I said it. I think we fell asleep on Justin Herbert, boys. I know our friend what's your buddy that's the Chargers fan? Kyle, thank you, Kyle. I know he was saying, "Hey, you're sleeping on us, guys. You're sleeping on us. Look out, Jim Harbaugh. He's going to change us around." He said the same thing about J.K. Dobbins, and I was like, "Oh, get him a wheelchair. Get him a wheelchair." And J.K. Dobbins is having a good year.
Great year.
So good pick for a hometown homer, but. Hey, look out for the Chargers to maybe slip into the playoffs. They're above 500 right now. Look out.
I like the pick of Justin Herbert. Definitely the last 3 games, his best 3 of the season. And yeah, I think less pressure, he's not having to pass it 35, 40 times a game. Less pressure on him, better coaching, better offensive scheme. I like the pick, Max. My extra juicy dog for week 11 at the quarterback position is going to be Pittsburgh Steeler, Russell 2 poops a week Wilson.
First name call.
Haven't talked about him much here, or not in this segment at all. But they're taking on Baltimore. They're taking on the Ravens here, divisional matchup. Russell Wilson, he started the last 3 games for the Steelers since taking over for Justin Fields. In his first game, he was quarterback 3, and last week he was quarterback 10 on the week. He has 7 total touchdowns and 1 pick in these 3 games.
Nice.
Pittsburgh, they're 3-point home underdogs in this game against the Ravens. This is a pivotal divisional matchup. I want to see this one.
Yeah, heck yeah.
48.5-point over-under. That's a lot of points, tied for highest on the week. In Baltimore, this is why I like this matchup for Russ. The Ravens are dead last against the quarterback position in fantasy football. Russell Wilson, he's looking more like Seattle Russ than Denver Russ.
Definitely.
I don't know what was going on here. I don't know if the 2 poops a week was a thing that he was only doing here in Denver. I don't know if that was the case, but right now it looks like he's shitting every day like everybody should be.
Nice pick on Russell Wilson. He had a big game last week. That little rainbow pass to Mike Williams for that game-winning touchdown. That was awesome. And then also, I love that little. That was totally Mike Tomlin, by the way, at the very end of the game to try to get the other team to jump sides. That was the game. That was the game. Got him to jump. So love it. All right. Moving on to let's go to running backs. So, hey, not a big time name. I'm going Joe Mixon. Okay, Joe Mixon taking on Dallas. Dallas blows offensively and defensively. They suck. Okay, Dallas is ranked 29th against the run. Cole Breezy, Joe Mixon has 5 straight games with a tutty. 5 straight games. Okay, he had 4 straight games with over 100 rushing yards before last week, where he only had 46, but he still scored a tutty. You're still happy with him in the lineup. The only other thing I'm going to say about Joe Mixon, because he's the life of the offense, by the way. We thought that C.J. Stroud was going to have this unbelievable MVP caliber season. Sadly,
one of us did. One of us.
Oh, me? Yeah. You didn't think so? Huh? Oh, okay. You thought
I'm lower.
I thought he had some weapons, but yeah. Then again, Diggs is out. Nico Collins is out, so now you got to adjust a little bit. But Joe Mixon is the life of the offense. My buddy, Mr. Tutty, he's getting in the end zone again for his 6th straight touchdown in the end zone. You better believe it. Whether it's a receiving or it is rushing, he's going to get in there.
I can't argue with that. Joe Mixon, the amount of volume he's getting, my goodness, there's not a lot. There's not a lot more running backs that you'd rather have rest of the season than Joe Mixon. He might be top 5 discussion. Cincinnati, they're looking stupid. They're looking stupid for not paying him, because Joe Mixon, he looks like he's worth the money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
My extra juicy dog at the running back position for week 11. I'm going to Detroit and David Montgomery. They're playing the Jaguars. Oh, my goodness. Jaguars are going to be in the discussion for number 1 pick, by the way. But David Montgomery, he's running back 14 on the season. He has double-digit carries in every game but 2. In those 2 games that he didn't have double-digit carries, he had 9 in both. So he's getting the volume you want. Detroit wants to pound you. This is the best backfield tandem in the league, in my opinion. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. You're starting each one every week. Even if you had both of them on your fantasy team, put them both in there. Detroit, they're 13.5-point home favorites in this one. 2 touchdown home favorites against the Jaguars. That is a huge line. 46.5-point over-under is tied for the 5th highest on the week. So Detroit, they're going to be getting a lot of points. Jacksonville, they're 28th against the running back position in fantasy football. Montgomery has 8 rushing touchdowns in his 9 games. Make it 9 out of 10. Montgomery, my buddy Mr. Tutty, at home against Jacksonville in week 11.
Nice pick. Montgomery looks so good in that Lions offense. I'm sure he's happy to get out of freaking shitty Chicago. Oh. My goodness. I never would have thought that Chicago's shittier than Detroit, because Detroit's pretty shitty as well.
Both of them smell like shit, huh?
Exactly. All right, let's move on to the wide receiver. Go Breezy. I know we don't pick Thursday nighters, but I'm picking one anyway. We did it last week. Let's do it this week too, because tonight's game is a big time matchup. I got AJ Brown against the Washington Commanders. All right. Now, Washington is ranked 18th against the pass. He's still in your lineup, no doubt about it. Yeah. Cole Breezy, he hasn't scored a tutty in the last 3 games. You got to be kidding me. He's hungry. Oh, he's hungry. Feed me the rock. I'm telling you right now, my buddy, Mr. Tutty, he's getting into the end zone tonight. Okay, Jalen Hurts is going to toss a beauty, talking like a 40, 50-yarder. I would love 40, 50-yarder. It's going to make me extra happy on my fantasy lineup. And I have a feeling it's going to be a really, really big night for Hurts and Brown. I think they're going
Mhm.
to go off for a lot of different catches, a lot of different yards. And I think it could be a back and forth kind of game tonight. I really hope so.
Yeah.
Last Thursday night was a great Thursday
Yeah.
night football game.
Mhm.
And hopefully we see another one tonight. So my buddy, Mr. Tutty, for AJ Brown. I know he hasn't been great lately, but you got to have him in your lineup. You got to.
No, good pick there, Max. AJ Brown it seems like he's due for one. Seems like he's due for one. Hasn't had one the last three. Had one each of his first three. Who you picking in that game tonight? Eagles and football queefs.
Eagles at home.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. I feel like it's a toss up. I want to go with Washington because I'm a little biased because of my fantasy players, but Eagles at home. I think you got to roll with that. My extra juicy dog at the wide receiver position for week 11. I'm going to stack. I'm going a sexy stack going back to Pittsburgh and George Pickens. This
Nice.
guy's been heating up. They're playing the Ravens. Pickens is wide receiver 18 on the season. In that first game with Russ, he was wide receiver 2. Last week with Russ, wide receiver 4. So
Nice.
this guy's a big dog right now with Russell
Oh,
Wilson.
yeah.
16 yards per reception for George Pickens is the most of anyone with at least 40 receptions this season. Pittsburgh, I already mentioned, is 3-point home underdogs in this game. They're going to have to pass. Russ is going to have to drop back a few more times. 48.5 point over-under, tied for highest on the week. A lot of points back and forth. Baltimore, just like they are against quarterbacks. Now, remember, I did this stack last week against Baltimore. I had Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase last week in that Thursday night game. I'm picking on the Ravens again because they're dead last against quarterbacks and wide receivers in fantasy football. Dead last.
Just let them do what they want.
The defense I drafted this year, I had to drop them. George Pickens, only 2 touchdowns on this season. The first game with Russ and last week. Damn it, give me another one. Give me another one.
Yeah.
George Pickens at home in this pivotal divisional matchup against the Ravens. George Pickens is going to find the end zone.
George Pickens, yeah, you said he's coming alive, and we said if we said one wide receiver, obviously it was George Pickens, but you could drive Najee and Jalen Warren as well. But anyway, they're heating up. By the way, Najee and Jalen Warren, they're actually looking pretty good. Pittsburgh looks good as usual. What else do you expect? What else do you expect? All right, let's move to the tight end position. Cobrizi, a big time name, I think. Anyway, he should be a big time name, but he has been inconsistent and. Tight end position, we keep on saying it just sucks, but I'm going Dalton Kincaid. Okay, Ooh. Dalton Kincaid taking on Kansas City, who's ranked 31st against the tight end. Okay, very, very disappointing season for Kincaid. He only has 2 touchdowns, Cobrizi. 2. And only 2 games where he went over 11 fantasy points. That's the only double-digit fantasy points that he has had in our fantasy league anyway, everybody, was when he scored a touchdown. So against Kansas City, Mahomes might have to use the short game a lot more. Okay, Buffalo. They're pretty good on defense. They're pretty good against the rush, and they're actually pretty good on the outsides to try to rush the quarterback as well. So I think that Patty Mahomes is going to have to try to. I'm sorry. I'm still on medicine. Still on.
What are you talking about over there?
I'm flipping around. Kansas City defense is really good at rushing quarterbacks. Okay, and so Josh Allen is going to have to use the short game a little bit more. Oh my gosh! Real quick, I had to go to the school today because we were figuring out my email. And they're like, well, what's your phone number so we can text you when you're eating, basically when it's ready. I gave them the wrong fucking number.
Oh.
And I was like, whoa, hold on a minute. Hold on. Sorry. I'm on meds.
Whoa.
This is my number. How do you forget your phone number? That just,
Damn.
I'm just a little hazy from all this medicine. Oh my gosh.
Understandable.
Sorry. Flip-flopped. So Josh Allen might have to use the short game a little bit more. They're going to have to focus on rushing. So Dalton Kincaid can have a very, very good game. Hopefully he ends up getting 7-8 catches. I'm not guaranteeing my buddy Mr. Tutty. I'm not guaranteeing a touchdown. No way. Not with only 2 touchdowns this year. I would rather put it on Josh Allen just rushing into the end zone for a 20-yard rush rather than a 20-yard pass touchdown.
Yeah, I think you're right. Definitely disappointing season for Dalton Kincaid. Top 5 tight end for us coming in. Top 5 for most people coming in. But I will say I don't think he's going to play this weekend. He
Oh
he
no.
didn't practice today. He hurt his knee last week. They got the bye following up, so I don't see him playing this weekend.
Oh,
So
I didn't miss that
check
one.
your lineups.
Make sure you're aware of that, everybody. If he ain't playing, forget about it.
I don't see him out there this week. My extra juicy tight end for week 11 is going to be. I'm going deep, Max. I'm going dirty. I almost picked this guy up last week. I'm going real nasty, real greasy. I'm going to South Beach and Jonnu Smith. Ooh.
Oh,
Real greasy. I must still be dreaming about 2020 when he played for my Titans. You know how many tutties he had that year? 2020. How many tutties for Jonnu Smith with my Titans?
5.
Put up 8 tutties. I
Right.
don't remember that. But
Right.
I might still be dreaming. But
Yep.
Jonnu, he's the tight end 16 on the season. He has the same amount of targets and more receptions than Jalen Waddle this season. I think that might be surprising because Waddle's played every game.
Yeah.
Waddle's played every game. Same amount of targets and more receptions for Jonnu than Waddle. Miami, they're 7-point home favorites against the shit-sniffing Raiders. 44.5-point over-under solid. Vegas, they suck. All they have is Brock Bowers. The defense also blows. They're 29th against the tight end position in fantasy football. Only 1 touchdown on the season for Jonnu Smith. And it's probably going to stay 1 because Miami's looking sloppy. Tua's still working his way back in.
Yeah.
But, if you got Dalton Kincaid, who's probably not going to play, if you got one of these tight ends that are going on a bye and you need somebody, Sticky Gesicki probably is out there, but you might want to go Jonnu Smith over him this week.
Mm-hmm.
Anything on Jonnu, Max?
No, I don't want him. Miami, they're just so shaky right now with Tua still getting into the mix of things. Even Tyreek Hill's not even doing that great. Like last week, he had a touchdown, but it was like two catches on 13 yards or something like that. It was like unreal, man, unreal.
Yeah, I believe Mostert didn't even get a carry last week. Jalen Wright got 5 carries over him, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on in South Beach. Max, that's going to do us today for the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. A good one, a lot of college basketball. I'm really excited for that Washington-Philadelphia game tonight on Prime. Plug Prime there. I'm going to have that baby on. But just some creepy, sick shit coming out of Gainesville, Florida that Todd Golden is creeping around on students, man.
Oh, my gosh. That's just so slimy and greasy. Halloween's over. And even at Halloween, like even the worst horror movie that you can think of, that's scarier. It's grosser. It's, oh my gosh. It's like a slimy popcorn bag where someone, slips their balls and package right into that popcorn bag with all butter and salted and where am I? What is happening right now? What has this guy done? Damn it, Florida. Gosh darn it.
Get him out of here.
Gators.
Get him out of here. Fuck
Yeah.
the Gators.
Fuck 'em.